Hi there, my name is Alana, and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Charlotte's Beautiful Skin Foundation. This is her first foundation launch in quite a while. It's described as a medium coverage glowing foundation, and it's said to be very, very buildable. A little bit about my skin. I have dry skin. I live in Canada. It's very, very cold right now, and I tend to prefer products with a neutral undertone. So I will be showcasing this product in shade 2N. Now, across the board, 2N is the shade that I use for Charlotte's liquid foundations, and it's the shade that I use for the Airbrush Flawless Foundation, which is otherwise her most recent foundation launch. So today we are really just looking for first impressions. We're going to apply this product, we're going to apply it with a sponge, we're going to apply it with a brush. We're going to take a look at how it comes together. We're going to see what it looks like when we add, obviously, the rest of our makeup into the look. And what we're going to do is at the end of the month, in some capacity, I'm going to be checking back in with you guys and providing a more fulsome review, providing my thoughts on the best way to apply it, what products it works well with, because I think it is really impossible to provide a fulsome foundation review for a product that has been in my collection for less than 24 hours. So anyways, if that sounds interesting to you, don't forget to subscribe, because here at Classy on the Run, we love talking about Charlotte Tilbury. So without any further ado, let's get started. So this foundation comes in a plastic tube, very similar to the IT Cosmetics CC cream. You open it up and you have a little pump. So today we'll be doing a first impressions. I'm going to apply one side of my face using a beauty blender and the other side using a brush. So let's start off with 2 pumps of the product. You can already see it's a pretty runny product. For my primer today, I'm just using Charlotte's Magic Cream, and then I'm not using any concealer. I just want to see how this foundation does on her own. So despite the fact that it's pretty liquidy, it actually feels kind of thick when you are applying it around. Like, it's definitely thicker than Light Wonder, if you're familiar with that foundation. So we'll start with the beauty blender on this side, just kind of dabbing it in. Okay, so I am finding this foundation is setting a little bit quickly, so I'm gonna go with the brush and then I'll share my thoughts side to side. So for the side that I'm applying with the brush, I am using the Merit Beauty foundation brush. Okay, I think we're just going to do a touch more coverage on this little breakout I have going on here. Okay, so off the bat, between the 2 sides, I'll definitely say the side that I used the foundation brush has a little bit more coverage, a little bit more full coverage, whereas the side that I used the sponge, a little bit more of a lighter coverage. So this product is described as a medium coverage, sort of like a medium coverage glowing foundation, and it's said to be very, very buildable. So I definitely find that I prefer it with the brush. I think that little bit more coverage is really, really nice. I am using the shade 2N, which is the standard shade that I use in Charlotte's line. And I will say that it is a little bit more warm tone. Like, I look along my jawline and I am seeing just a touch of difference. It's almost pulling, not orange, but maybe it's just a little too yellow and a touch too dark. So this is the same shade that Phoebe Denver wears. She is, of course, iconic for Bridgerton, and she is one of the sort of models and ambassadors for this line. Overall, I think that it looks good, has a nice glow to it. To be honest, I'm not as obsessed as I thought it would be. Now, I don't want that to sound like a negative review. Obviously, this product has been on my face for about 4 minutes, but I was definitely expecting like perfection status. I think that Charlotte has, generally speaking, beautiful complexion products. So I am curious to sort of keep on playing with this product, keep on trying it out in different ways. Overall, I think it looks nice. The coverage is nice. But let's finish up our makeup. Let's see how it wears throughout it, and then we'll chat a bit more. Okay, so here is the final look. I've been letting the foundation sort of sink into my skin a little bit. I've obviously finished off the makeup look. I've done my makeup in the way that I tend to do it. A little bit of bronzer, some blush, obviously a little something on the eyes. And I did do a little bit of setting using Charlotte's setting powder. So I went just kind of under my eye, just a touch into my T-zone. And that is because when it comes to testing foundation, I don't really see the value in testing just the foundation alone on your face. I think you need to see how it works with other makeup, because that's how you're going to wear it, right? Like, I mean, look, if you are going to just wear foundation and nothing else, strange, but you can do that. But for me, I want to really be showing you guys how the makeup works in conjunction with a ton of other products. I generally stuck to Charlotte because one, this is my channel and we talk about Charlotte all the time. And two, I generally think that makeup brands, rightly or wrongly, I think that generally speaking, their products usually work pretty well together. So let's do some initial thoughts. Now that I've had a chance for the makeup to sort of settle into my skin and to finish it off, I'm falling more and more in love with this. Like every time I look in the mirror, I'm just like, who's that? I actually just filmed a quick snippet for a TikTok. I was watching the TikTok back before I hit like send, before I hit post. And I was like, you're really cute. And then I was like, right, that's me. That's me. Okay, so the foundation, it's called Beautiful Skin. Definitely think my skin looks beautiful. I will say I feel like this foundation pulls a touch warm. Now, I'm wearing the shade 2 Neutral, which is the same shade I wear in all of her other foundations, at least all of her foundations that offer a neutral option. I find that neutral usually works pretty well for my skin. And I will say I did notice a little bit of discoloration along here. Maybe I should have gone for a cool tone, but honestly, I find her neutrals across the board work for me. So if you are somebody who's on that sort of neutral edge, I feel like personally my complexion is like a cool neutral. It's like neutral, but if it couldn't be neutral, I would do a cool tone over a warm tone. So anyways, if you are in that foundation box, and you're debating cool or neutral, I think you might want to go cool. And in the same way that if you're debating warm or neutral, you might want to go neutral instead of warm. I think it does pull, you know, just a little more warm than some of her other foundations. And obviously living a global pandemic, I'm not sure where you guys are, but we're back in lockdown and Sephora hasn't had testers available that we could actually touch for quite a while. So just wanted to share that with you if you're trying to find your perfect shade. I will note that on her website, she does have a kind of a perfect foundation matcher. I didn't use that because I wanted to order the shade I always order. I think that's generally the most helpful for my channel. But if you are unsure, definitely check that out and hopefully that'll help you find the right shade. I will say my skin has a beautiful glow, but this foundation isn't quite what I expected. So what I was expecting was almost a higher coverage Light Wonder, which is a beautiful foundation that is in her line. I really, really enjoy this one. So I thought it was going to be like a high coverage Light Wonder, but I would actually describe it as a lighter coverage Airbrush Flawless foundation. In a lot of ways, this foundation reminds me of the effect I get when I mix Airbrush Flawless along with her Hollywood Flawless filter. So put these together and you kind of have this. So at first I was expecting it would be that Airbrush Flawless meets Hollywood Flawless filter. But when I saw the packaging, for me, this packaging generally indicates a lighter coverage product. So that's when I sort of switched my expectations to it being more of like a Light Wonder. So on a spectrum, obviously this is the medium coverage option between her 4 foundations. I will say at this point, it feels like it has more coverage than Magic Foundation, but I'll also say it has a lot more glow than Magic Foundation. Now, I think it is really hard to provide a fulsome review on a foundation that has only been in my collection for 24 hours, but I wanted to give you a sense of how the product looks on my skin, how it works, the best way to apply it. I will be doing a more fulsome review over the next couple of weeks. I definitely want to test this out with different primers, different powders. I want to test it out more with brushes, more with like a beauty blender, and I really want to figure out what's my favorite way to apply that. And you just can't do a good job at that in 24 hours. So my plan is that in the next couple of weeks, I will either do a dedicated review or at the end of the month, I will do a bit of a roundup of all of the different products that I've used. So let me know if you have really a preference between those two methods. But I will definitely by the end of the month be checking back in and sharing a more detailed, more fulsome, and I would argue more valuable thought on the product. Overall, I went from not being obsessed with it when I applied it to loving it more and more. So I'm hoping that this is a product I will have really the chance to fall in love with as I play with it, as I try it with some flawless filter, just as I experiment all the different ways that you can use the product. So I hope you found this video helpful. I hope it's given you a sense of the product. I hope it's, you know, maybe piqued your interest, but if it hasn't convinced you to buy it or not buy it at this point, that is 100% okay, because like I said, I think it's really hard to have a definitive answer on a foundation when you've only had it for 24 hours. You know, an eyeshadow, like, you can tell pretty quick if it's good quality, right? But Foundation, there's something different because foundation, it really is the foundation of our makeup. It's the base. It's what's going to break things up or break things down or make it look beautiful or not make it look great. And so I really want to be providing you the highest quality opinions that I can. So I hope this video has helped you out. And if you enjoyed it, please subscribe, especially if you love Charlotte Tilbury content, because we are always talking about Charlotte here on my channel. Thanks so much for watching. Bye. Mwah.